Hey Gideon, how's it going? Funny stuff. You had me going for a few seconds. Not long, but you did have me going for a few seconds. I see that sort of thing from theists, all types, all the time. So you can never be too sure. But nevertheless, funny video and a really good question that you opened up. It sounds like you want to start a dialogue about whether or not, or I'm sorry, well, I guess how you're better or how you're different now that you're an atheist. And I think that other people should respond, whether it be to my video that I'm making right now or yours. It's a good conversation to open up. I think to some degree I had some pretty good critical thinking skills all throughout childhood. I was Catholic and Christian up to the point of time I was 13 or 14. But I remember even in Catholic school questioning why an all-loving God could create everybody knowing that he would have to flood the earth and kill everybody. It seemed to me that if he was all loving, he would have just made his creation differently, so that he wouldn't have to murder everybody on earth except for one family who, as soon as the flood was over, Noah got drunk, which God doesn't like that, and naked, and God doesn't like that, and sin just returned again, and the whole point was to wipe the world free of our sins. So I saw the story in the Bible as being ridiculous, but I still clung to my beliefs. I prayed to Jesus, all the time, and I said the prayer that you say to become a born-again Christian at 13 years old. And it wasn't much longer than that. In fact, it was actually the born-again Christian church, with their explanation of the fact that dinosaurs existed at the same time as Jesus, that I realized that the church was full of shit, because we have plenty of scientific evidence to prove that the dinosaurs existed a much longer time ago. So I would say, I would think, and I would be inclined to say, that the thing that changed most about me after I became an atheist was my ability to think more clearly. And I certainly can think more clearly on a number of issues and a variety of issues. I'm more open and rational, and I don't adhere to any preconceived notion of what is right or wrong on a particular topic. I'm willing to hear the entire topic out and not allow a religious belief to dictate what I believe on the issue. For example, somebody who is Christian is generally going to be anti-choice, or as they like to call it, pro-life. And that's a perfect example of religion dictating your thoughts. So, like I said, I would say that I think clearer now, but that's kind of untrue, because it's because I think clearly that I became an atheist. So, how is life better now? Well, yeah, you're right. I don't waste time going to church. I save 10% of my money. I can put it into causes that I know are good causes. I still am very charitable. I consistently donate money to organizations fighting to keep church and state separate, or organizations that are promoting scientific thought or advancement and discovery. You can see this on my website. We recently, the Rational Response Squad, just matched a donation from our users of $810 to the Richard Dawkins Foundation. And we donated our own $810 amongst our team here. So, we're still very charitable. It's just that we can put that money where we know it's going to a good cause, instead of putting that money into a church where the church is going to use that money to brainwash more people. And in turn, those brainwashed people will, enable religion to do all of the dangerous things that it does. So, of course, I also can impart a clearer sense of reality to my children. I don't have to lie to them, teach them beliefs that I can't even prove myself. Being outside of religion, it was easy for me to realize that teaching your kids that Santa Claus is coming into your home isn't exactly the smartest thing. It always seemed weird to me, after I realized that Santa was fake and after I had my first child, that that why would I lie to my son and teach my son at the same time to not be a liar? So I think if I would have been religious, in fact, anybody religious watching this video right now is probably not even understanding what I'm talking about. They're probably saying to themselves, "Oh, well, kids need fantasy and delusion and that, and they need that fantasy world." And that right there is the danger of religion. It clouds your vision. It makes you think it's okay to lie to your children under the guise that it's just a fun game. However, you take for granted the fact that your kids will love you if you merely tell them, look, Santa's fake, and I'm going to let you in on the secret, and I'm the one buying you all the presents, and I'm buying them for you because I love you. And I celebrate some sort of holiday at this time of year. I don't even know what you would call it. I mean, I think it's all silly. But to give my kids a sense of normalcy, I do give them a bunch of gifts. We've celebrated, in fact, many different holidays. Over the last 6 years, we've celebrated Saturnalia, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Christmas. I think we've done Christmas like twice. And really, to us, it's just giving the kids the presents on Christmas Day. And we research, and I have little child books for them, like what is Hanukkah and whatnot, and we learn all the different traditions, but we learn them for what they are. They're simply traditions created by man who wanted to believe in a higher power, and they created the idea of the higher power. And so, in that sense, we have a much clearer perspective of reality. I guess just thinking critically is so important, and it's not just leaving religion that helps one to think critically. There are plenty of atheists that are poor thinkers out there. Don't get me wrong. And I implore those atheists to step up your game, step up your thought game. And I'm not sure really what else I want to say here, because I think that that's just so important in itself that there really doesn't need to be anything else. There really shouldn't be any other benefit. That's it. To be able to think outside of a holy book and to be able to interpret what you want to make out of reality without a pastor or a book telling you what to think is pretty darn important, especially when that book contradicts facts. There's so many facts that we have. I mean, I wonder how people justify some of these things, like this young Earth theory. This idea that the Earth is 6,000 or 10,000 years old is the equivalent of somebody saying to you that the distance between New York and San Francisco is a couple hundred feet. It's ignoring the facts. I hate using such a harsh word, but it is moronic. And if I was religious, I would be saying moronic things a lot more often than I do now. So, there you go. How has being free of religion helped me in my life? I say less moronic things. So, you post your video. I'm sure many of you have much better stories than I do. Get into some of the other issues. I've covered thinking clearly, and being able to avoid hypocrisy a little more easily. But I'd like to hear what you guys think. Why is your life better now that you're not religious? And in fact, I'll create a thread on my message board so that people who want to do this in text can do it in text. And if you go to rationalresponders.com and then click forums, let's see, we'll put this, I'll make it a sticky thread so it sits right up at the top. And I'll put this in the Free Thinking Anonymous forum if you want to find it. If you just want to put your views down in text because you don't have a YouTube account, and anybody can go check it out. So that's rationalresponders.com. Click forums, and then click the Free Thinking Anonymous forum, and I will post it there. So thanks again, Gideon, for bringing this conversation up.